Okay, Leo, we got Capricorn, I use. Okay. So Capricorn energy is very, very interesting for you guys. Um, it's your sixth house, I believe. It's your sixth house. It is. So if you're going by equal house system, if you're doing this by your chart, your rising energy. But what I'm getting from Capricorn is really, not just commitments and such, but it's about where you have the most of your power, right? I know this thing is probably going to be the most distracting. It's distracting me, shoot. But I feel like with Capricorn energy, there's something to do with how you use what you know, how you use what you have, utilizing what is already pre-existing in your world and making them work for you rather than you working for it. That's what I'm kind of getting with this. The Capricorn energy never lets anything control them. As a matter of fact, they can even control themselves to make sure that they are not losing control of themselves. It's so interesting. But I feel like in this element of control, and you do have an aspect of control in your own sign, Leo, where that being the from the fixed energy, you guys are good at controlling things and holding down the fort. That fixed energy is what holds us down, right? It grounds us. So that fixed energy from that is very interesting to come through with a cardinal sign. But I feel like this area is controlling what you know and have it used for you. Okay, interesting. Let's see what this card is really, what else this card is trying to communicate to us regarding this reading here. All right, Empress energy. I'm going to be doing a mini Celtic cross. It's going to have modified placements, so everything's not going to be the same as the traditional way of pulling the Celtic cross, but that is a-okay. Nice. Nice, Leo. Nice. Okay. Look at that. There's you. There you are. Love it. And the King of Pentacles. Okay, some of y'all may be seeing a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, but I feel like this is you holding down the fort for yourself. And look at that, the Emperor energy coming right out of that. So there's a lot of yang energy. Let's do this. Let's put some action toward it. But I feel like at one point you were definitely aware of your power, aware of your sense of control. I feel like for some of you guys, there was something may have cropped up where you may have had to change a certain belief system or a certain way of thinking or believing, especially or even a certain way of doing. Because the Emperor would suggest that this is somebody that knows what they're doing, knows how to handle the situation, or does things in an old fashioned way, meaning if it's worked before, don't fix it. But I feel like the situation might have cropped up where it didn't work. Oh, interesting, actually. Look at this. Just wanted to get some more information to see what was going on with this Emperor energy in the Two of Cups. You've got possessive. You got possessive here. Okay. And of course, when you find someone that you are connected to and you have such a strong drawing to them, automatically this part of you where you want to start going for it comes in. You want to start taking action here, or at least doing something that involves progress towards the further in the further development of this relationship. Of course, you turn into the King of Pentacles here. You see the great value of it. You start putting hard work toward it. You start to become more focused on what the relationship means to you, and how it can manifest into what you want it to be. But I feel like it's not even really the intention to focus on what you want it to be. You're just focusing on the moment. You're focusing on the person. You're focusing on the connection. You're focusing on what meshes and what doesn't mesh, right? You're focusing a lot on the person. And that already is heading in a direction to tell you whether or not this person is legitimately yours, or if this person may not be your type. But I feel like with the King of Pentacles coming up, this is suggesting that you do feel something for this individual, or at least you feel you're here to stay for a little while. You're here to kind of invest time and to get somewhere, not necessarily get some more information, but definitely to kind of stick around and see how this goes. It's in a way you are committed to this person, or this person's committed to you, and that's pretty doggone awesome. So, Leo, the card that we have here for your heart of your reading is the Empress. So again, Taurus energy is coming up pretty strong, just as much as Leo energy is, to some degree. But Capricorn and Taurus energy, that would suggest something interesting to me. The Emperor is the sign that that loans their energy to the Emperor is actually Aries. But in my eyes, it could be anyone that has a lot of desire to control situations. And I'm not trying to say Capricorn's desire to control everything, but they definitely want control over things that do influence their life. So I kind of feel like with the Emperor and the Capricorn energy, you do have someone around you that you not necessarily want to control, but you feel responsible for, or this is all around together, kind of like a feeling of like a powerful dynamic. You have a powerful dynamic in which both of you could create and build something together in a great strong stride. Like working together would be perfect. This person creates, you take action, or vice versa. It depends. It depends on whoever is the emperor in the energy in the reading. Now, what's interesting to me is that too, not only is the lovers, excuse me, the two of cups is coming up underneath the emperor here, but this would suggest a divine connection between the two of you. You guys are a powerful couple, and you definitely see yourselves as that. And I feel like this, you may have a Taurus around you that is aware that they can be something of great value to you, and not only that, but they are someone that sees the potential of growth between you and them. However, the problem is that it hasn't started yet. Like, as much as you would like to go ahead and get it started, there is no progress. Why? Well, perhaps this isn't someone that's moving very slowly. I think it's happened, or it's happening. It feels like it's not happening, or it's delayed, but it's happened. It's already done. And I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is like, yo, what? Where? How? Well, the fact of the matter is that you are a king. So how you come up in the cards is very significant to me when kings come up. You're already committed, Leo. Now, it's funny because this reading actually reminds me of someone. And if I saw the person, I'd be like, this reading is straight up telling me that you are committed to the individual. You're already seeing this relationship as something that you're willing to work on, something that you're willing to put time and effort into because you see the value in it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. But I do think that there were some things that caused it to be delayed, if there was any delay, a real delay. I feel like you did the best that you could. You handled yourself in a way that showed responsibility, willingness to commit, willingness to settle down. You did everything you could do, but then the other side of the situation, the left side of the coin, probably wasn't ready. And even though they would want to be ready, perhaps they weren't. This person perhaps was giving birth to something, or they were carrying something of great value to them too. And it may not be something that you can see, or maybe something that they can't see, but they're doing something that is toward some sort of development. And it may feel like they're leaving you in the dark, but in actuality, they're really just focusing on what they need to do to take care of themselves. And hence, the reason why the Ace of Pentacles is coming up like this, crossed. It doesn't mean it's not happening or won't happen, but it's just saying that it's going to take some time. Especially if they believe that they have to take care of themselves. If this individual is a Capricorn and not a Taurus, like I'm thinking, or this, like I'm getting a really good indication of, then this person may have some things that they believe they need to get done before they can progress forward. But in the past, you have justice. So there was already a union between you and this individual. I'm not saying y'all straight up got married, but you guys could have, just by the way this reading is kind of depicting itself. You guys got married, things are getting a little tough, but you're not ready to give up. And then through that hardship and waiting and being patient, you are able to be in a happy place. You're able to resolve a lot of these situations, a lot of the issues, and start being in the moment and enjoying the person, where you've been trying to do that from the very beginning. But for those of you that may not be ready or may not be getting married or have been or is married, this could suggest that there is a union, but there was something that showed imbalance. There was something that wasn't quite balanced here in the past. But I think you were hyper aware of this. You were already aware and ready to go ahead and straighten them out. But it took a second for the other person to realize that they're not being fair or they're not giving to you what you should have been getting. Um, and I feel like that definitely came through strong communication and non-judgment. You weren't judging the individual for doing what they needed to do. You weren't expressing discontent with them. You were showing understanding, but you were also laying down your boundaries here, which is something very good. I love that when people are able to do this. But you're also showing patience here that I honestly will get to in a second. But in doing this sort of balancing, it's like, or recognizing there's some unfair behavior. I feel like that even though you've noticed it and talked about it and brought it to light, there's still something that's not, that's still not quite right yet. Like it's not kicked in, it hasn't been kicked into play. Even though you've already mentioned it, already been acknowledgement that this is a situation that needs to be, definitely tailored and shapen to be more fair for everyone. It hasn't quite kicked in yet, but I do feel like even though you're exhausted when dealing with this situation, there is something that is kind of like keeping you still, keeping you here, keeping you defending the fortress. Again, because I feel like it's you seeing the value of this relationship, or at least you have something that you believe is valuable within the person that you are still dealing with. So this is not a judgment. This is not a bad thing. I feel like it's quite interesting, and honestly, in my eyes, quite commendable to still tough it out with somebody, even though it looks like they're trying to get it right, but it's just taking some time. So you're not giving up. You're not putting the swans down. You're almost done. You're almost there. And you know it because I feel like with this understanding here, justice was this understanding and this for sort of forgiveness for the lack of consistency or because the King of Pentacles is consistent, and what I'm seeing is there may not be consistency. There may be something that you're waiting on. There's something that required forgiveness and for there to be an agreement. And I feel like through this agreement there is progress being made here, but and it is happening. The Ace of Pentacles, in my eyes, is not saying that there is a true delay, but I do feel like that in order to really start this, it's almost like like you're priming up. It's like this is the prime up before actually being into the relationship or getting, focusing solely on the relationship. Right now, it's almost like everyone is working on balancing their life out. Everybody's working on organizing their life and making time and doing things that would involve other people and not necessarily do things where everyone feels like they have enough time to spend with everyone, or better yet, perhaps to give of their time, of their energy. If this is something you want, you have to put yourself into the position to manifest it. And I feel like you have been present. The King of Pentacles has definitely been present. But what I don't see really is lots of both. It doesn't seem like the situation is saying that both of you are working to it. It's only like one of you. And I feel like that's you, Leo. I feel like you're the ones that are working hard for this relationship to be the way that you would want it to be, or at least get it started, at least get it moving. But even then, right, I feel like these moments in the process of making a relation or creating a beautiful relationship with this individual, this has also reinforced a lot of your own self-esteem, a lot of your own self-belief system. Like I feel like it has helped show you how valuable you are and how powerful you are in sense of of seeing and willing to create something with someone that may not be quite as fortunate as you are to notice the imbalances ahead of time. But there's a lot of evolving with this whole reading. Aside from the present being the Nine of Wands, the future being the Nine of Cups, excellent. Because it tells me that what you're going for, it's worth waiting for. because the future doesn't exist without us perceiving what our future is. I couldn't have pulled the card out of thin air. This is all coming from you, Leo. So this tells me that you know that the after fact will be something where you're proud of yourself, you're happy, and you're content. Now, even if things happen to go in a totally different direction, you are content here because you know you did the best that you could. You know you put your effort forth, and you know that you did the best that you could. Like I said before, I don't know if I repeated it twice. You just know you did the best that you could, and that's good enough for you. And I think that's very awesome. So it's like the hard work does have some sort of reward, no matter what direction it goes into. So your advice is coming up as strength, holding steady. You know, it's a difficult time, and of course, where we may feel like we need to Hulk out and be the beast, like the king, like the lion is suggesting here. The strength card really suggesting inner strength, the truest strength, where it's not timid and manipulatable. It's stern, it's firm, it's compassionate, and it's patient. Because the woman here, she's feebled as much as the lion is, but she's not weaker than the lion. There's no weakness in this card. Her gentle, calm, and patient nature is what has developed a beautiful bond between her and this beast. And honestly, if we're looking at this in the way from the strength card, you are actually the Empress. You've been taking care of yourself. You've been holding down the fort for yourself, and now you see the potential of great happiness and willing to to create something with someone, but it just hasn't quite gotten off the ground yet, or rather, no seed has really. The seed has been planted, but there's a lot of extra steps to make sure the seed is grown healthily. So with Capricorn, I feel like the thing is that you're using what you know, your boundaries, your self-care, your self-respect to nurture and manifest a beautiful relationship.